At a family gathering, my cousin had a sudden heart attack. My uncle cried out, pleading with me to perform CPR. I desperately tried to save my cousin, but the first became the villain in the family, just because I touched Ning Ning's chest. The young master of the Jung family called off the engagement. Do you know how much our family has lost? Later, my uncle's entire family drained me of all my wealth. They even drugged my fiancée. They got her into his bed. When I went to save her, I was pushed off the balcony by my uncle. After I was reborn, my uncle once again begged me to perform CPR on my cousin. My legs went limp. I collapsed, convulsing, foam pouring from my mouth uncontrollably. When I opened my eyes, my uncle and aunt were kneeling in front of me, crying and begging me. "Vi Yan, you've learned first aid. Please save your sister. It seems like she has no heartbeat." My cousin lay beside me, her face pale. The whole family was in chaos. I was drenched in cold sweat, the memories of my life before death flashing vividly before my eyes. In a panic, my pupils rolled up to the back of my head. I tilted my head back, my legs convulsing violently, foam spewing from my mouth without end. Ziyan, don't lie down. Please, come save Ru Yan. My aunt desperately shook me, not caring if I was also having a seizure. My third aunt noticed something was wrong with me. She quickly spoke up. Ziyan's not right either. Call 120 right away. But my aunt grabbed her arm. Don't call 120. Ziyan will be fine. Let him save Ru Yan. I bit my tongue hard. Blood spurted from my mouth. Let him save her. Can't you see he's on the brink of death too? My third aunt pushed my aunt away. She dialed 120 for emergency help. Quick, come to XX Hotel. Someone's had a heart attack here, and it seems like they have epilepsy. My aunt sat on the floor unwillingly, cursing under her breath. How could this happen? How could he have a seizure? My uncle raised his hand, preparing to slap me. Are you pretending, you little brat? Only use you once in 10 years. And you still fail. Last time, when I hesitated to save my cousin, I got slapped by him. So this time, I prepared a mouthful of blood foam and sprayed it all over my uncle's face. My uncle hurriedly stepped back, but tripped over my cousin, who was lying on the ground. The thick and thin of it splattered all over her. "Ow!" My cousin screamed. She sprang up from the ground with a quick movement. The entire family fell silent. Ru Yan, you're okay now. My third aunt looked at her suspiciously. My cousin wanted to speak, but she kept gagging and retching. At that moment, I finally confirmed something in my heart. In the previous life, my cousin's heart attack was indeed fake. I foolishly tried to save her, thinking I had done a great deed. The next day, news spread that her wealthy fiancé, a second-generation rich heir, had called off the engagement. Came to my door, saying that her golden son-in-law heard that I touched my cousin's chest and broke up with her. I explained that performing CPR might accidentally touch the chest, but I had no ill intentions. But my aunt's family still blamed me for everything. Do you have to put your hands on the chest to save someone? You've learned first aid. Wasn't there any other way? Do you know how rich my future son-in-law is? Do you know how much we've lost? You have to take responsibility. Since my parents divorced and stopped caring about me, I've lived and started my own business on my own. In terms of blood relations, my uncle is my closest relative. Seeing their family so worked up, I inexplicably felt guilty. Looking back now, I only punished myself. Never blamed others. How foolish I was. Later, their family all joined the management team of my company. After a year, the company went bankrupt. But they became filthy rich. They bought a villa in every province. My cash flow was broken, and I was drowning in debt. My fiancé stood by me through it all. But my uncle took the opportunity to drug her. He got her into his bed. I rushed to save her, but my uncle cursed at me. You heartless thing. We worked ourselves to the bone for you in your company. How is it wrong for us to let off some steam with your fiancé? You're not even married. You're now buried in debt. What right do you have to talk to me about terms? I didn't sleep for several nights trying to save the company, but in the struggle, I eventually lost strength and was pushed off the 5th floor of the villa by my uncle. I might not care about my money, but touching my woman is unforgivable. Now I've awoken. The demons from hell, climbing back to take revenge. When the paramedics arrived, my aunt urged them to check on me quickly. Doctor, please check him. Is he really sick? I had learned first aid, and I certainly knew the symptoms of epilepsy. I immediately started acting more convincingly. Quick, get him in the ambulance for urgent care. There's also a heart attack victim here. My aunt hurriedly added, that one's just low blood sugar. It's not a heart attack. He's fine now. Just save him yourself. I was taken away by the ambulance. The family who had been eating was called away by my aunt. No one stayed with me. Whoever goes should pay the money. This kid is so rich. Let him pay for himself. Halfway through the ambulance ride, I woke up. Wow, the guy recovers pretty fast. How did he suddenly have a seizure? Does he have a family history of this? I replied, he doesn't have a family history, but I did see something unpleasant while eating. I paid the medical fees at the hospital. I took a taxi back to the restaurant. The family was wrapping up and preparing to leave. I secretly followed behind my uncle's family. On the quiet street, their conversation clearly reached my ears. What do we do now? My cousin didn't fall for it. How am I going to pay back the money I owe? Shut up! If you didn't mess around so much outside, how would the young master can break off the engagement? If he didn't break off the engagement, wouldn't that money be enough for one night's work? Don't talk anymore. I think Ziyan is just pretending. We still need to think of a way to shift the blame onto him. Only then will he willingly pay up. If not in a few days, news of the breakup with Ru Yen will get out. My heart went cold. As expected, some family ties aren't worth much because they only care about money. How pitiful that in the previous life, I was foolishly exploited to death. Since that's the case, I'd better play with them properly now. The kind of game that'll go to the extreme. As expected, the next day, I received a call from my aunt. The Yan, I heard you've been discharged from the hospital. Why didn't you say anything? Just now, your uncle said he was going to visit you. Didn't you not eat enough yesterday? Come to our house for dinner tonight. Here it is. Opportunity has arrived. When my aunt opened the door for me, she saw the big bag I was holding. She happily said, come on in. What's all this? I handed it to my aunt. The freshly popped popcorn from the old man at the door. It smells great, but it's not cheap. $5 a bag. My aunt froze for a moment, but quickly smiled broadly again. Come in quickly. It's cold outside. Ru Yan's been waiting for you for a long time. I walked in expressionlessly, but I didn't see my cousin anywhere. My uncle was in the kitchen cooking. When he heard my voice, Yan's here. Go wash your hands in the bathroom. Dinner's almost ready. Come have a drink with me. I casually agreed, scanned the room, and noticed at least 3 cameras, all aimed at the direction of the bathroom. Where's Ru Yan? My aunt pushed me toward the bathroom. Go wash your hands. Ru Yan's in the bedroom changing clothes? As I got closer to the bathroom, I faintly smelled the scent of shower gel. I understood what was going on. I figured that when the door opened, it would be my cousin's naked body, followed by a sharp scream. Then, she would cry to her ex-fiance, and he would break up with her, saying she was dirty. In the end, they logically blamed me, making me pay for everything for their family. I reached the bathroom door, firmly holding onto the door handle. My aunt anxiously urged me, hurry, open the door and wash your hands. My uncle also peeked his head out from the kitchen, staring at me silently. But I stood frozen in place, not opening the door. My aunt slowly walked toward me. "Why don't you go in?" Just as she was about to touch me. I screamed loudly. Then my body seemed to be electrified. I began to dance wildly in place. Oh, my aunt was so frightened she stepped back 2 paces, sitting down on the floor in shock. My uncle rushed out holding a spatula. "What happened? What's going on?" "It looks like there's a short circuit," my aunt stammered, pointing at me. My uncle was about to come over to grab me, but was stopped by my aunt. "Don't go, you'll get shocked too." "But are you Yan is still inside?" While I kept dancing, I shook and said, "Don't come near. I need to pull it." My cousin heard the noise outside and began banging on the door. "What's going on? Dad, Mom, open the door." "I can't open the door." "Ha, silly. Stay inside for a while. Don't push the door. There's a short circuit," my aunt shouted. My cousin was about to cry from anxiety, not hearing anything from outside. She just kept pushing the door and then started banging on it. From outside, you could see a white body repeatedly crashing against the frosted glass door. I counted the time, and just as she was about to crash into the door again, I made a big leap and dodged. I lay flat against the wall, not moving. My cousin screamed. With a loud bang, the door was forced open. Then, with a thud, her whole body slammed onto the floor. A piercing scream. "Big brother, how could you peek? Why are you lying against the wall? Why didn't you turn around?" My cousin was about to accuse me, but when she saw me lying still against the wall, she swallowed her words. I answered in a voice as clear as a broadcaster's. "Cousin, although we're relatives, since we're adults now, we need to respect privacy. I won't move from here. Please go change your clothes. I'm sure the 3 cameras have recorded everything clearly." My aunt rushed up to grab me. "The Yan, don't lie down. Are you Yan is your cousin, not a stranger?" I shook off my aunt's hand. "Aunt, if our is in the bathroom, why did you ask me to wash my hands? Isn't that tarnishing her purity?" My uncle tried to reason with me. "Then what were you doing earlier? Weren't you shocked? Did you always plan to sneak in and peek, you brat?" I spoke in a calm tone. "Uncle, earlier, my nephew had an urgent need to go. The pressure on his sympathetic nervous system caused the convulsions. But he's fine now. He just needs to go to the bathroom and clean his pants. You all go ahead and eat. No need to wait for me." I walked toward the wall, moving sideways without turning back. Once inside the bathroom, I immediately locked the door, leaving my uncle and aunt in a stunned silence, and the still shocked body lying on the floor. "Did the camera catch that?" my aunt whispered. "Catch what?" This brat didn't even turn his head, and still spoke so righteous, so loudly. My cousin sat on the floor, on the verge of tears. "Mom and Dad, Why does it smell so bad? Did Big Brother really go back and change your clothes?" I was also struggling in the bathroom, holding back laughter, trying not to let out a fart. Half an hour later, at the dinner table, to lower my guard today, they really spent a lot on this meal. Sea cucumber, abalone, lobster, crabs. They had it all. I ate heartily. The 3 of them occasionally looked at me. I ate without much taste. No one spoke, only the sound of me smacking my lips. When I was almost done eating, just as my aunt was about to say something, I immediately stood up to say goodbye. "Uncle, aunt, cousin, thank you for the meal. I don't have parents, but you all made me feel not alone. I'll remember it in my heart. I won't show it though, but I still have work at the company. I need to go back and change into pants that don't stick to my backside, so I'll be leaving." My cousin made a retching sound. My uncle and aunt's faces turned dark. They put down their chopsticks. I opened the door and left, afraid to ruin the harmonious atmosphere. But my uncle's family wouldn't let this slide. After all, I heard that my cousin had gone into debt to buy gifts to win the money she owed wasn't a small amount. Just the daily interest was enough for them to drink a pot of tea. So after being quiet for a day, my uncle and aunt showed up at my company. Yan, your company is really big. Yeah, the annual rent is several million. Yan, your company must have a lot of business, right? Yeah, I have to pay back several million in loans every month. Yan, your cousin is having some trouble. Could you lend her some money? Sure. I happen to have 500 in my pocket. Wait here. I'll go out and borrow 250 each from someone. I'll try to gather 1,000 for you. Just as my uncle and aunt were about to explode, they quickly put on smiles again. My uncle cleared his throat. Yan, stop joking with your aunt. Your cousin owes much more than 1,000. I asked seriously. How much then? My aunt's face lit up with hope. 1 million. I waved my hand grandly. That's easy to handle. Really? My aunt almost jumped up. She can go find Kun Shao. That amount of money is nothing for young Master Zhang to spend in one night. My aunt's face fell. Our Yu Yin wouldn't dare. They're having a conflict right now. If Kun Shao finds out about this, they'll definitely break up. I tucked both my hands into my sleeves and began chewing on my tooth. I seriously thought of a solution. Then what should we do? My aunt grabbed me urgently. Yan, help me out here. Take 1 million out from the company. I promise I'll pay you back in 3 days. Within a month. I thought for a second. Then I made up my mind and said, wait here. And after saying that, I opened the office door and shouted loudly, Sister Liu, do we have 1 million in the company account? From outside, I heard Sister Liu's gruff voice. 1 million? You're late every day. Can't even find you to sign something. We haven't even received the salary this month. You're half responsible for the company not going public. I shrunk my head, backing up while saying, Sister Liu, could you keep your voice down? Do you think I'm worth 1 million? You spoiled me too much. Get lost. Okay. I carefully closed the door and turned to look at my uncle and aunt, who were dumbfounded. See, it's not that I didn't want to help. The employees are about to start beating me up. The two of them exchanged glances and laughed. I walked over to Sister Liu and silently gave her a high five. In the big office, I don't know who quietly started chanting slogans. Send red envelopes. The sound grew louder. The situation became more and more uncontrollable. I immediately stopped them. What red envelopes? All the work's done. Sister Liu coughed and said, President Wang, this time I saved you 1 million. There are still thousands lying around in the company account. I quickly covered Sister Liu's mouth, whispering, please keep it down. Sister Liu smiled awkwardly and sent the plague god away. Sure, they'll be back again. Plan B. This is our code for the plan. Since the company started improving, I've had many friends and relatives who haven't contacted me in years coming to borrow money. Every time someone comes to borrow money, Sister Liu gets so happy cursing me. Once, there were at least 10 people competing for the role she played, and she knocked them all out. Because only she can curse me without repeating herself. I'm planning to design an S-level exclusive plague god delivery B plan, shortened to the SB plan. When my uncle and aunt come again, I'll use a big stick dipped in iodine, beat them while disinfecting. But before my uncle showed up, my cousin came to find me first. Big brother, I've been drugged. Quick, come save me. The next message sent was the room number of a chain hotel. If I didn't have the memories from my previous life, I would have definitely thought she was in danger. Without a second thought, I would have rushed to save her. But now, I first called my uncle and aunt. Sure enough, the calls didn't go through. Then I knew I had to prepare properly. I started calling in some people. When I knocked on the hotel room door, My cousin was wrapped in a towel, her face flushed as she rushed toward me. But she ran into a piece of tempered glass. I hid behind a blast shield, only my eyes visible as I glared at her. Where's the pervert? My cousin, dizzy and disoriented from the impact, tried to push my blast shield away. Save me! Big brother, save me. You must have taken spring medicine. Someone get cold water. Push her in. As soon as she finished, 4 or 5 strong women rushed in. They were all my employees. 2 had cameras. 1 went to run the water. 2 held my cousin down. Once the bathroom door was closed, inside, her desperate cries echoed for help. Big brother, I'm fine. Let them go. I was just joking with you. Please, I'm not going in. It's too cold. Help. I made myself a cup of coffee, sat in the chair, and started playing with my phone. Don't listen to her. With this kind of drug, she's out of it. Always show a cold bath works, right? Can you hit the door for me? Why blow me up? Half an hour later, my cousin's lips turned blue, wrapped in a blanket. Her expression blank as she stared at the empty air in front of her. 5 women held up phones recording. So, you were really just joking with me? My cousin stiffly nodded. I pointed to the props on the bed. And then, you bought whips, candles, ropes. My cousin closed her eyes, pretending to be dead. And you even prepared to cameras? I threw the 2 mini cameras I had found on the floor. My cousin wrapped herself fully in the blanket, her head disappearing from view. Suddenly, the door to the room opened. My uncle and aunt rushed in, shouting, Are you Yan? Are you okay? Are you Yan? Who dares to bully you? I'll fight them to the death. Before they finished speaking, the 5 phone cameras were already aimed at them. Which one of you? Where is my daughter? I squeezed out from between them. My uncle's face lit up with joy. He pointed at me and cursed. Good, Ziyan. We trusted you so much. Turns out it was you who brought our My aunt picked up the conversation. If Kun Shao finds out ... what will our Yin do to explain? Do you know how much we've lost? My fists were clenched tight. Is this all? They're already so impatient. I gripped my uncle's fingers with both hands and sincerely said, Uncle, Aunt, you should ask our Yan about the specifics. Please talk to her carefully. Don't do anything rash. I've already sent the full video to the Happy Family group. Ah, my cousin screamed. I took the chance to slip away with the 5 women. The Happy Family group exploded. Everyone was fiercely criticizing my uncle's family. Even stories about my uncle peeping on village women while they bathed surfaced. 3 people couldn't take it anymore and left the group one by one. At the same time, the debt collectors had already shown up at the door. They slipped my cousin's PSZ photos through the door. My uncle couldn't wait any longer. He and my aunt came to me, demanding I arrange jobs for them. Yan, you really messed our Yin up last time. We won't hold it against you. But how can you have outsiders in the management of your company? What if they plot against you? What if they take kickbacks? Yeah, exactly. You must give all the important positions to your own people. Look, your aunt has bought promotions at the supermarket. She'd be more than qualified to be your sales director. And as for your uncle and me, I used to be the women's director in the village. It's not too much to make me the HR director, is it? And are you Yan? She scored 95 on her elementary school math exam. She'd have no problem being your finance director. My uncle was spitting as he spoke, his eyes gleaming with excitement. I was so excited I stood up from my office chair. I grabbed my uncle's hand tightly. Not listening to your elder's advice. I'll pay the price later. After hearing your words, I'll arrange it right now. After I finished speaking, I called the head of HR I directly ordered the personnel changes. President Wang, have you thought this through? The head of HR looked at me with a complex expression. Before I could say anything, my uncle slammed his hand on the table. Stop talking nonsense. Don't you know who runs this company? If you can't, get out. From now on, HR is under my control. My aunt also had a look of contempt in her eyes. I'll write the public notice right now. I'll announce the personnel adjustments. The HR head spoke, gave my uncle and aunt a sideways glance, then gave me a reassuring look, and left the room. The next 5 minutes, my uncle and aunt presented me with and suggestions for company restructuring and their family's issue of $1 million advance salary. 5 minutes later, the office door was kicked open. My uncle, curse it, who is so disrespectful? Don't want to work anymore, huh? A group of people entered. Not one of them acknowledged him. They all started talking to me. Boss, why are they all leaders just because they walked in? I worked for years to become a team leader. Do they have more mouths than me? I'm not having it. If they show me a second mouth, then I'll accept it. I'll resign too. The group was getting agitated. I was overwhelmed. It was chaotic. My uncle slammed the table again. You're going too far. You're the one making the most noise. You're fired. Anyone who wants to be like him, step forward. I rushed up and grabbed my uncle. She's the top salesperson. Top salesperson. What's that? Half of the company's revenue comes from her. My uncle began coughing violently, struggling to catch his breath. After a long while, he finally calmed down, then pointed at another person. And you, get out. I grabbed his sleeve again, whispering, this is the public relations general manager. Without him, we'll have to shut down next month. My uncle, pale in the face, took a deep breath, then waved his hand. These two can stay. Everyone else, get out. I'll hire college students. They're cheaper and more obedient. I covered his mouth. Uncle, they've left. If we don't keep them, we'll be out of business tomorrow. The new college grads won't graduate for another 6 months. My uncle panted, leaning on the table, trembling. The head of HR stood up. Boss, this is what everyone's thinking. I think there's another solution. My uncle grabbed onto it like a lifeline. Quick, tell me. The head of HR gave a subtle nod. A dozen people marched out in unison. Each of them left a single glance at my uncle and aunt. They were so angry, they were trembling. I know you're President Wang's elders, but if you want to establish authority in the company, you have to start from the bottom. I said seriously. Which bottom should we start from? Security or janitorial? What? My uncle was about to slam the table. I forcefully pressed him down. Don't underestimate security. It's the fastest way to know everyone in the company. It's a must-have skill for HR executives. And janitors, they're the most important job to understand the company's operations. Most employees' true opinions are expressed in the bathrooms. If these two positions are done well, I guarantee, within a month, everyone in the company will respect you both. My uncle and aunt exchanged glances. Really? Yes, that's right. I've been through this myself. My aunt looked at me. I bit my lip and nodded vigorously. Under the table, I pinched my own legs until they turned purple. The HR head I selected was indeed a master of pua. Uncle, aunt, how about this? Just 1 month? As long as you work for a month, I'll guarantee you'll be in the positions you want. In the end, my uncle and aunt gritted their teeth and agreed. The company group chat was flooded with red envelopes. From now on, the 2 patrol dogs would be on vacation. My uncle is going to be the HR president. Isn't that better than a dog? All the toilets in the company got new mops. I made sure my aunt had enough space to show her abilities. She can't be held back by tools. I issued the instructions one by one. The SB plan officially began. The head of security held daily meetings. My uncle was praised highly, but then my uncle was isolated by all the security guards. No one was taking shifts at the posts. No one was accompanying patrols. He was on night duty every day, every early morning. Employees would spontaneously take turns working overtime at the company, blowing their horns to wake my uncle, making him open the door. The next morning, my uncle had to try his best to remember every employee's name. You're Zifeng. Yesterday, didn't you go by AI-kun? Oh, I wore the wrong name tag. From today on, you're Zi Jingjing. Weren't you called Zialing? Uncle, you must have Alzheimer's. I've always been by Jingjing. Is Zialing prettier than me? After a few days, my uncle couldn't even remember my aunt's name anymore. He was beaten by my aunt every day. My aunt also found a fulfilling way to spend her days cleaning the toilets, especially with the company bathrooms occasionally having no water. It developed into a good habit for her. Whenever there was a sound of water in the bathroom, she would rush out with a mop at a speed that could rival a 100-meter race. Employees took it upon themselves to replace the main water valve in the bathroom with a remote control in the monitoring room every day. One employee was responsible for turning the water on and off. Another was tasked with timing my aunt. Boss, your aunt's 100-meter sprint speed has now reached the level of a second-tier athlete. I nodded, spitting out a tea leaf. While we're still young, we should push even harder. From that day forward, the intervals between water deliveries to the bathrooms shortened. The time spent delivering water was reduced. I maximized my aunt's growth potential. 1 week later, my uncle and aunt cornered me at the entrance. Yan, are you deliberately torturing us? My uncle's eyes were red. He looked like he wanted to devour me. Uncle, they must be testing you. If the whole company respects you, I can hand over the company to you with peace of mind. Hearing this, my uncle and aunt trembled with excitement. Just 3 more weeks. I believe in you. And so, under my psychological manipulation, they were pumped up with adrenaline. On the last day of their 1-month trial period, I suddenly went on a business trip to Hainan. I had to sign a major contract for the company, the Sonya Beach Sunlight Sharing Project. By the time my uncle and aunt came looking for me, my office was already empty. They desperately called my phone, but I was already on the plane. My phone had been turned off long ago. How could they reach me? By the time my fiancé and I were lying on the beach in swimsuits, my uncle had already called me 99 times. You should pick up. Don't be too mean. My fiancé advised me. Mean? In my last life, when he drugged my fiancée and put her in someone else's bed, he had no moral constraints. I'm just collecting a little interest now. Ziyan, are you messing with us? I'm giving you 1 hour. Come back and sign the HR appointments. Otherwise, what? He must have realized that, aside from our blood ties, he had no leverage to morally blackmail me. Otherwise, I'll post everything you did to us. In the happy family group, I was instantly intrigued. Uncle, I recall you all left the group, didn't you? Hold on a second. I'll add you back now. My fiancée pinched me lightly, her smile as warm as sunlight falling on my skin. My uncle coughed uncontrollably. He was probably coughing up blood. My aunt couldn't hold back any longer. Yan, we're still family after all. Don't you remember when we used to buy you new clothes when you were little? Oh, I remember. My uncle gave me an old vest he didn't wear and made me help you move houses. That fridge. It was heavier than me. By the time I finished, the clothes you gave me were torn to shreds. There was silence on the other end of the phone. My fiancée looked at me, her eyes full of mixed emotions and heartache. Uncle, I really am here to sign a contract. If this deal goes through, the company's profits will at least double. My uncle cleared his throat and continued. Yan, at least give your aunt and me access to the company cafeteria. The rules say we can only enter after a month. We've been eating takeout boxes for a whole month now. What? Hello? You've been eating box meals for a month? How did you even swallow that stuff? My signal's bad here. I have to go out to the sea to sign a contract later. If you need anything, just contact the head of HR. I'll hang up now. After hanging up the phone, I blocked their calls and WeChat accounts. The restaurant? My food isn't that delicious. Blocking them wasn't a big deal. Occasionally, employees would share the latest progress of the SB plan with me. My uncle and aunt were blocked outside the employee cafeteria. They were yelling and causing a scene. Then a group of security guards took my uncle away. They went to the head of HR asking for permission to be added. But the head of HR said, "The authority to add permissions is with the boss. For anything related to permissions, you'll have to wait for the boss to return." My aunt started throwing another tantrum. She rolled on the floor. Suddenly, she jumped up and rushed toward the bathroom. This was because the employee responsible for hot water remotely opened the bathroom water valve. Some sympathetic employees brought food for my uncle and aunt to the cafeteria. Inside the two beautiful lunch boxes lay half a burned sausage each. You brought me just a sausage? My uncle stared at it incredulously. The employee bringing the food pounded his chest and said, "Uncle, you can trust me. The company cafeteria has been cutting expenses for years. This sausage was the best I could fight for among over 100 people. But don't worry, this sausage is special. One is worth more than 6. Indeed, my corporate culture was truly inherited from me. My uncle and aunt, like reflexes, immediately called me, but they couldn't get through. They're driving me crazy." My uncle smashed the decorative vase in the lobby. The security called the police. My uncle said he was smashing his own stuff. The police took him away. My aunt paid for the damages. And only then did she take my uncle back home. The next day, neither of them showed up at the company. Then they received an automatic text from the company's HR system. It told them, according to their labor contract, if you are absent for more than 3 days, the company will terminate your labor contract, and you will never be rehired. Then my cousin sent me a message, saying she was beaten badly by my uncle. She begged me to hurry and save her. That's when I realized I had forgotten to block my cousin's secondary WeChat account. I quickly blocked it as well. After a month of vacation, I hurriedly returned to the company. "Uncle! Where's my uncle?" As soon as I entered the company, I shouted. The head of HR with a blank expression said, "Stop pretending, boss. Your uncle was already fired." "Oh, I'm just going through the motions." My uncle was so calm after being fired. He must be holding back something big. So I took the contact details for my uncle's family out of the blacklist. Within a minute, my cousin called. "Big brother, my parents have realized during their time at your company that they're not cut out for it, but they're too embarrassed to face you. They've asked me to invite you and your wife to dinner. After all, they've caused you some trouble during this time." I sincerely said, "Are you in? You really are. You've made me feel so at home. Don't worry, I'll always keep a spot for you at the company." After hanging up, I spit out the tea leaves in my mouth. I opened the door wide. "Did you steal my tea? How is it just tea leaves left?" As in my previous life, it was clear that my uncle's family had already started scheming against Zihan. I didn't need to hold back. It was time to have some serious fun. I'd go all out. At the dinner table, my cousin took 2 bottles of drinks from her bag. "Big brother, this drink is from a friend who brought it back from abroad. It's delicious. I specially brought it for you two to try." I opened the bottles and poured a glass for myself and Zihan. For a moment, I saw a brief, triumphant smile flash in my cousin's eyes. In her smug gaze, I also poured her a glass. My cousin's expression froze. "Here, cheers." I clinked glasses, looking at my cousin. "How come? You're not drinking? How do you know it's good?" She held back for a long time, then picked up the glass and drank it all. I put my glass down and took a sip from my own thermos. "Big brother, why aren't you drinking?" Zihan chimed in. "Your brother's been a little weak lately. I made him some kidney tonifying soup. He has to finish 3 large cups a day. Otherwise, if he doesn't turn in his homework, he'll have to sleep standing up." She looked at me meaningfully. I looked at my fiancé, who was acting like a drama queen, wanting to cry without tears. Before we came here, I had already told Zihan about being reborn. At first, she didn't believe me, so I told her that my cousin would definitely drug us this time. She was skeptical, but eventually got up to verify. At this moment, my cousin was close to tears. She hurriedly took out her phone and sent a message. Zihan snatched the phone from my cousin. Little sis. This phone case is really beautiful. Where did you buy it? My cousin collapsed on the table, fast asleep. How much drug did she take? The effect is so strong, as expected. I found the room card in my cousin's pocket. Zihan looked at my cousin with a dark expression. She finally believes me. Zihan and I helped my cousin into the room. We applied a face mask on her, put on a shower cap, and changed her into a bathrobe. This way, her mother wouldn't recognize her. Then, using my cousin's phone, I sent the location and room number to my uncle. Dad, hurry up! I had Zihan open the adjacent room, and I sat between the two doors, waiting for my uncle. My uncle and aunt arrived at the hotel soon. From far away, I could hear their conversation. I took a photo. You wait outside. Can you handle it alone? Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Don't think about taking advantage of other women in front of me. Alright, you take the photos. With these photos of Ziyan's fiancé, I'm sure he'll give us the money. Then we'll get him to hand over the company too. You don't have to say anything. My uncle was still uneasy. Make sure you undress Zihan completely before taking the photos. Otherwise, the threat won't be big enough. My aunt kicked my uncle. Stop with that disgusting look. Finally, they saw me standing at the door. Ziyan, what are you doing here? My uncle asked cautiously. I grudgingly said, I came out to grab a bottle of water. I forgot my room card. My uncle was overjoyed. He and my aunt helped me inside. He pulled out the room card he had already prepared and opened the door. They threw me onto the sofa. Then my aunt kicked my uncle out. My uncle was reluctant to leave. He was kicked several times by my aunt. After the door was closed, my aunt immediately began undressing my cousin. I weakly looked at my aunt. With no strength left, I said, Aunt, what are you doing? Stop, she's. The lights were dim. My cousin still had the face mask and shower cap on. My aunt, seeing me struggle, didn't suspect anything. She roughly interrupted me. Don't scream. If you had just honestly lent me the money, or given me the company. With these photos, your good days are over. Just as my aunt was about to remove my cousin's face mask and shower cap, I struggled to get up. Don't touch her. My aunt was startled and pushed me away forcefully. She quickly took a few photos. I crawled after her, trying to catch up. My aunt, frightened, hurriedly left. I crawled out the door and only saw my uncle and aunt's retreating figures. An hour later, I received a WeChat message from my aunt. It was a censored photo of my cousin and a message that said, Let's chat. Go away. Fine, Ziyan, wait for it. I'll send a photo to the Happy Family group so everyone can see your fiancé's real face. You can send it. If you're so brave, don't censor it. You're willing to ruin your fiancé's innocence. Why does that concern me? Give me $1 million. I destroyed the photos. Do you want some ghost money? Are you crazy? I'm sending it now. Send it. Anyone who doesn't send it is a coward. I added my uncle, aunt, and cousin back into the group. A few seconds later, the group chat was flooded with messages. The notifications kept ringing. The pictures kept coming. This time, there were no censored marks. The group was eerily quiet, but anyone could sense the madness beneath the calm surface. My uncle's call came in again. Ziyan, your fiancé has a nice figure. She's much better than your cousin. The group has the original photos. All the details are clear. I saw it too. The original photos, no doubt. But is it really okay for my aunt to post them in the group? Did my cousin agree to this? What does it have to do with your cousin? I'll tell you this. You can still retract them. Send 1,000,000 over in the next minute. You can still save yourself. You don't want the whole family to see your fiancé's body, do you? Whether it gets retracted or not isn't up to me. You should ask your cousin. Don't pretend to be clueless. It's useless, uncle. I'm timing it. The photos can't be retracted now. After saying that, I hung up the phone. Then I saw the frenzy in the group. Are you crazy? Who did you send this to? Be careful, your privacy will be exposed. Retract it. Hurry up and retract it. What is this? Everyone speaking here is a lady. The men in the group remained silent in agreement. Suddenly, my cousin sent a message in the group. Everyone, leave the group. Leave, leave, leave. From the wording, it was clear she was furious. My uncle called again. Yan, don't be stubborn. Your aunt still has some close-up shots on her phone. If you don't want to lose face, hurry up and send the money. At that moment, I heard the sound of a door slamming, followed by my cousin's hoarse screams. Why didn't you ask me before you sent this? I've been calling you, but you didn't pick up. That person in the photos is me. My cousin and her husband didn't even drink the beverages. Then came the sounds of things being thrown and hysterical screaming. My uncle hurriedly hung up the phone. At that moment, my third aunt sent a message in the group. What does it mean that Yan wants us to leave the group? I see in the photo, it looks like Yan. Are you Yan's mom? Did you accidentally post it? It's fine. Why did you take photos of your daughter? I heard Yan owes a lot of loans. Could it be a loan for photos? Could the creditors have come knocking? Sure enough, the group was filled with experts who had quickly come up with a perfect conclusion. My uncle sent me a WeChat message. You little brat, you're messing with me. You're heartless. This is your fault. You left the company. Now the security team has to put the dogs back on duty. So your conscience has gone to the dogs. That night, I heard my cousin swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills and was sent to the hospital. My uncle and aunt were going door to door to relatives' homes, asking them to delete the photos. I don't know if my cousin tried to take her own life, or if the creditor happened to show up. They took my cousin to the hospital to prove their innocence. The creditor also called the police. Officer, we really didn't do anything. Her family doesn't even lock the door. As soon as we walked in, we saw her lying on the bed, foaming at the mouth. She wouldn't wake up no matter what we did. We've never used violence to collect debts. The photos in the group weren't sent by us. We didn't do this unethical thing. Following the clues, my uncle and aunt were taken by the police. The charge was distributing inappropriate images. My uncle argued in front of the police. Officer, it was all planned by my nephew. We were also tricked. I handed over my fiancé's check-in records from that day and a video from my cousin's room. Uncle, I did my best to stop Aunt. You forced me into my cousin's room. I was actually going next door to take care of Zihan. By the time my cousin was discovered, it was too late. They couldn't fully cleanse her stomach, causing brain damage. She's now delirious and might never wake up again. I also provided the chat logs, call recordings, and the drink my cousin gave me to the police. As a result, their crime added another charge: extortion. The amount was particularly large, and they had also threatened the victim with the photos. The crime was considered attempted, with particularly severe circumstances. They would be locked up for at least 10 years. My cousin's ex-boyfriend, Kun Shao, was also affected. His reputation in the circle was destroyed. The company was affected, and the stock market plummeted. In his fury, he used his connections and gave special attention to my uncle and aunt in prison. It is said that now, my uncle is living a miserable prison life, with a dung basket hanging on his backside. My aunt's mental state also deteriorated. She constantly mutters that she's a sales director and shaved her head bald. But none of this concerns me anymore. I've freed myself from their curse. Now I'll embrace a bright future with my fiancé.